My name is Riley Kim, and today I will be reading an excerpt from The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. The Yellow Wallpaper is a short story that explores the mental deterioration of a woman confined to a room by her husband for rest therapy. Her husband, who seemingly has good intentions, oppresses her with his economic status as a doctor and social status as a man. As she spends her days isolated without any creative outlet, she becomes obsessed with the room's yellow wallpaper, perceiving it as a symbol of her own oppression. I chose this book since I resonate with Gilman's critique about the unfair and unprofessional treatment of women's mental illnesses. As a fellow passionate women's rights advocate, I believe that Gilman's powerful narrative of the mad woman serves as a liberation for the restrictive rules imposed on women in the 19th century and beyond. So we pick up this book after the main character has been in the house for a while. She hates the yellow wallpaper in her confined room, and she thinks that there is a woman, or perhaps multiple women, captured in the wallpaper patterns. Okay, I will be reading. I think that woman gets out in the daytime, and I'll tell you why, privately. I've seen her. I can see her out of every one of my windows. It is the same woman, I know, for she is always creeping, and most women do not creep by daylight. I see her on that long shaded lane, creeping up and down. I see her in those dark grape arbors, creeping all around the garden. I see her on that long road under the trees, creeping along, and when the carriage comes, she hides under the blackberry vines. I don't blame her a bit. It must be very humiliating to be caught creeping by daylight. I always lock the door when I creep by daylight. I can't do it at night, for I know John would suspect something at once. And John is so queer now that I don't want to irritate him. I wish he would take another room. Besides, I don't want anybody to get that woman out at night than myself. Hooray! This is the last day, but it is enough. John is to stay in town overnight and won't be out until this evening. Jenny wanted to sleep with me, the sly thing, but I told her that I should undoubtedly rest better for a night all alone. That was clever, for really I wasn't alone a bit. As soon as it was moonlight and that poor thing began to crawl and shake the pattern, I got up and ran to help her. I pulled and she shook, I shook and she pulled, and before morning, we had peeled off yards of that paper, a strip about as high as my head and half round the room. And then, when the sun came and that awful pattern started to laugh at me, I declared I would finish it today. We go away tomorrow, and they're moving all of my furniture down again to leave things as they were before. Jenny looked at the wall in amazement, but I told her merrily that I did it out of pure spite at the vicious thing. She laughed and she said she wouldn't mind doing it herself, but I must not get tired. Oh, how she betrayed herself that time. But I'm here, and no person touches this paper but me, not alive. So now she's gone, and the servants are gone, and the things are gone, and there's nothing left but that great bedstead nailed down with the canvas mattress we found on it. We shall sleep downstairs tonight and take the boat home tomorrow. I quite enjoy the room now that it's bare again. How those children did tear about here. This bedstead is fairly gnawed, but I must get to work. I have locked the door and thrown the key down in the front path. I don't want to go out, and I don't want to have anyone come in until John comes. I really want to astonish him. I've got a rope up here that even Jenny could not find. If that woman does get out and tries to get away, I can tie her. Crap. I forgot I could not reach far without anything to stand on. This bed will not move. I tried to lift and push it until I was lame, and then I got so angry that I bit off a little piece at the corner, but it hurt my teeth. Then I peeled off all the paper I could reach standing on the floor. It sticks horribly, and the pattern just enjoys it. All those strangled heads and bulbous eyes and waddling fungus growths just shriek with derision. I am getting angry enough to do something desperate. To jump out of the window would be admirable exercise, but the bars are too strong to even try. Besides, I wouldn't do it, of course not. I know well enough that a step like that is improper and might be misconstrued. I don't even want to look out of the windows. There are so many of these creeping women, and they creep so fast. I wonder if they all come out of that wallpaper as I did. But I am securely fastened now by my well-hidden rope. You won't get me out on the road there. I suppose I shall have to get back behind the pattern when it comes at night, and that is hard. It is so pleasant to be out in this great room and creep around as I please. In fact, I don't want to go outside. I won't, even if Jenny asks me. For outside, you have to creep on the ground, and everything is green instead of yellow. But here, I can creep smoothly on the floor, and my shoulder just fits in that long smooch around the wall, so I cannot lose my way. Why, there's John at the door. It is no use, young man, you can't open it. How he does call Anne Pound. Now he's crying for an axe. It would be such a shame to break down that beautiful door. John, dear, said I with the gentlest voice, the key is down by the front steps under a plantain leaf. That silenced him for a few moments. Then he said, very quietly indeed, open the door, my darling. I can't, said I. The key is down by the front door under a plantain leaf. And then I said it again, several times, very gently and slowly, and said it so often that he had to go and see, and of course he got it, and came in. He stopped short by the door. What is the matter? He cried. For God's sake, what are you doing? I kept on creeping just the same, but I looked over at him over my shoulder. I've got out at last, said I, in spite of you and Jane. And I've pulled off most of the paper, so you can't put me back. Thank you.